According to Kubrat Pulev, he has finally parted ways with his now former promoters, Team Sauerland. It seemed quite obvious to me for quite a long time that Pulev has not been happy with Sauerland. And over the past year or so, there have been several occasions where Kubrat Pulev has seemingly turned down big fights. And I couldn't really explain it. I thought maybe Pulev's heart is not really in the game anymore. Maybe the Klitschko defeat traumatized him so much, he doesn't want a repeat of that, so he's second guessing himself rather than fighting the likes of Joshua, etc. Or maybe it's because of some unresolved issue with his promoters, Team Sauerland. Well, we're going to find out in due course now, because he split with Sauerland, according to him. He paid $150,000 to terminate the contract early. So I assume then that his fight against Hughie Fury will have no involvement from Team Sauerland at all. We'll see whether Pulev's behavior with regards to the fights that he takes changes as a result of this. I don't like seeing fighters tied down in promotional contracts they're unhappy with. Fighters at the end of the day are fighters. They concentrate on fighting. You can't expect them to be fantastic businessmen. Obviously, you have to have a certain amount of common sense. Obviously. Okay, you expect a certain amount of common sense, but when it comes to looking at contracts with promoters to sign long-term deals and what have you, they're not experts when it comes to stuff like that. They're inexperienced. You have to understand, when a promoter comes up with a contract for a fighter, the promoter has come up with countless contracts for countless fighters prior to that. So the promoter knows what he's doing. But the fighter is usually naive. He doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to these contracts. It can be a little overwhelming. And yeah, fighters do have lawyers and stuff like that who try to explain to the fighter, but even with a lawyer, it can be very, very difficult to understand certain things. So I always have sympathy with fighters when it comes to these situations they get into with promoters signing long-term contracts and they end up being unhappy and what have you. I'm glad that Pulev has managed to resolve his issue with Team Sauerland, and hopefully he is in a better place now. We'll see how his career unfolds from here. He's 37 years old. People forget he's only lost the one fight to Vladimir Klitschko. His win over Derek Chisora is looking a lot better now, isn't it? Considering what Chisora has done since then. Putting in a very good performance against Dylan White. Putting in a career best win, or coming up with a career best win against Carlos Takam. Pulev's win over Chisora is looking better. So let's see what he could do against Hughie Fury. That fight is apparently going to go ahead on October 27th in Sofia, Bulgaria. Maybe Kubrat Pulev will be energized by the situation, you know, finally parting ways with Team Sauerland. Maybe that will energize him, give him more drive in training camp, and we'll see a better version of Kubrat Pulev than we've seen for a while against Hughie Fury. It's a very, very tricky fight for Kubrat Pulev, but as strange as this may sound, stylistically, this is the kind of fight I think Pulev actually likes. Because he's in there with a boxer. He's not in there with somebody who's going to come forward and try and fight him on the inside, because Pulev don't like fighting on the inside. So he's not fighting someone like that who's going to come forward and be physical or any of that. He's fighting someone who's going to stand up straight and box with him. And before people take exception to me saying stand up straight, Hughie Fury does move his head relatively well. He's not stiff as a board and upright like David Price or something. I'm just saying Hughie Fury is not going to be applying pressure. He's not an inside fighter. He's going to be boxing at long range with Pulev, and that's how Pulev likes to box. Fury is much faster though than Pulev. Fury, like Pulev, not a massive puncher, but faster. I think he's even more mobile. I suspect Kubrat Pulev is the physically stronger of the two. Both have got very good jabs. Huey Fury's jab is faster and more frequent, but Kubrat Pulev's jab is a lot heavier. He's got a very heavy, powerful jab. Kubrat Pulev is by far his best punch. So we'll see whether it'll be the faster, more frequent jab of Huey Fury or the more powerful jab of Kubrat Pulev that comes, comes up on top. So we'll see. Anyway, let me know how you feel about everything I've talked about in this particular video. It's happening. I'm out.